In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hello, my friends. This is Pinky.
And I'm Priyanka.
And we're here to call out all things PakeAsPuck.
Every time, dude.
Every time.
Every time.
It's just going to get louder and louder and louder.
I missed you. It's been so long since I've seen you.
It was too long. You made me fluffy. Like I texted you that day.
That you missed me?
I did. So it was literally a week because we had been going back to back every week seeing each other.
Yeah.
And then it was a week and 3 days. And I was like, oh, I miss Priyanka so much right now.
I missed you too though.
No.
I missed you too. When we were getting together today, I was like, I need this. I need the laughs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just getting away.
So how's it been? You've been on the road?
Yeah. Okay, so.
Back to business?
Back to business. However, normally we do a good job of checking each other, right? Like, I'll ask Ravina, you have your phone, your ID. She'll ask me, do you have your phone, your ID? So we're leaving the venue on Sunday, and it was like, it was chaotic for me, just because there was like a lot of moving parts. Like I went to go put the camera away, and then they were like, oh, let's go take a picture. So we go to take a picture with the staff and everybody, and then we come back, and I have my phone, but then I put my phone upside down on a black surface. And so, yes, below eye level, which is very difficult because I'm 5 even, right? And so I'm taking all the wires off, and I'm getting ready to go, and I'm not going to lie, I was definitely baked, because I baked in the bathroom. As one does after 4 successful shows. And so I'm putting everything away. And then the thing, I don't know if you saw, the door to the green room locked twice on us.
Twice?
Twice. One while I was in it the day before, and then the same night when we were trying to get into it to get our shit to leave because we were so exhausted. I was like, I just want to go. I want to drive down the strip. I want to take my pictures, and I want to go home.
Are you claustrophobic?
No, but I was starting to get panicked because it was literally like minutes before we were supposed to go
And you didn't have your phone on?
No, I didn't. Not yet. So the last night, and there was 2 stories in one. Anyway, so the last night, this was already an adventurous trip, but this topped the cake. So I put my phone down, I'm putting all the stuff away, and I'm like doing checks and balances. I have all the wires, we have everything.
Yeah.
Do we take what we need to take and all that crap? And we didn't do checks and balances, and we go downstairs, and someone is going to get their car to come, and I'm like, the car comes, and we start loading it, and I'm doing the touch test. Where's my phone, right? And I was like, everybody stop! Yeah. And I was like, everybody stop! I don't have my phone. Emergency! So me and Ravina, and then Asa from the club goes upstairs. We go back inside. He unlocks the door. Go back inside. I check where I put my water bottle.
Locked up.
Yeah, like we were the last ones to leave. My phone is not with it, with my water bottle. So now I'm like, okay, I'm going upstairs. Like I'm going ballistic because I never forget my phone anywhere. Like this is now more than ever, it's my lifeline, right?
Yeah, you have everything on there.
Right, everything on there.
Yeah.
And so now I go every last, like this sobered me up so fast.
Oh, that sucks,
it
though.
Fucked up my high so bad. And at the end, I found it by doing the following. I remembered that my phone is connected to my watch.
Smart.
So then so I kept looking at the symbol that shows me if my phone is nearby or not. And for some reason, I have it locked in my brain that if my phone is more than 30 feet away, it will disconnect. And so I'm literally walking around like a metal detector, walking around. And this guy, this tall ass cute kid, is following behind me, also looking for my phone.
Oh.
And I'm like, I found it! He's like, where is it? I was like, I don't know, but I'm close. It's right here.
You can get it to ring, right?
Okay, shut up.
Am I going to have to IT you? Oh my god!
Would it ring if it's on silent though?
No.
See?
Okay. No, it will. Because
we'll
it's like an alarm. I'll have to show you.
I'll have to test it out tomorrow at home.
Yeah.
I'll put it on one side of the house and I'll go to the other side. But I was literally walking around. I was like, no, it's not this way. Go this way. No, I felt so stupid. And then finally when I looked up to where it wasn't, where it was still connected, and I was like, there it is, right there. And
oh my god, how stressful.
Ruined my high.
That's okay. You can smoke up another joint.
I could. I probably did. No, I didn't. Just had gummies afterwards. But that was that adventure, you see.
Oh.
All this traveling.
Did you miss being on the road?
I did. It was nice to get back out.
Mm-hmm.
It was just, there was like a lot of people at the airport because it was going to Vegas, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So there was a lot of people that were like, "Oh my God, you're going to Vegas? I'm going to Vegas too." I was like, "Are you coming to my show?" That's all I care about. So, please come to my show. Please support me.
You should do those things that like baristas do and just show them your phone. Be like, here's my QR code for the link.
Buy some tickets. So there was a lot of people, but it was good. It was fun. So that brings us to what grinds your gears. Okay.
Okay, so for grind your gungies this week, you're so ugly sometimes.
Stop! You're not supposed to say that.
I can say to you.
Okay.
We don't take it personally.
No.
But like when you make it face, yeah, you
I
do
make
a
them
little.
on purpose. I do. I know.
You're just gonna do it because you know that I had a harder week, right?
Yeah. Well, also, if I looked pretty and beautiful all the time, there would be no chance for anybody else out there in the world. So
for grind your gungies this week, it's a little mommy related.
Okay. Which is A-okay.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the fact that like nobody understands the mental load of a mom, specifically a mom, but your own mother sometimes doesn't understand it. Okay?
Yeah.
Now
It's like they have selective memory.
yeah, and I try to empathize because I've also forgotten what newborn life is like. Like, I forget when I see my niece or nephew or something. I'm like, oh, shoot, yeah, you got to give them a bottle at this time. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
But so my baby was in the hospital a couple weeks ago, and it's just kind of messed me up. I'm in the processing mode at this point. And I was talking to my mom the other day, and I'm like, I don't know, I can still hear him screaming at night, and I haven't been able to sleep well.
Yeah.
And she makes the conversation about her.
How did she
About how I'm
make
like,
it about her?
well, like, I was saying how I haven't been sleeping well at night, and I'm having a hard time remembering things. Like, I have to pack lunch, and then I have to give antibiotics, and then you got to do a hot compress so many times a day. And it's chaotic. It's really, really chaotic. I'm trying to practice everything that I can and make lists and all that stuff. But then she goes and she's like, yeah, you know, as you get older, that happens. Like, I don't like driving at night. And I was just like,
did you just equate this to my
right.
baby's issue?
I was just sitting there and I'm like, so me hearing my child scream in the middle of the night. Oh, she's like, well, is he actually doing it? No, he's not. I'm traumatized by it.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what it is, but there was just no connection.
No.
And I'm not shitting on her so much as, why don't you understand this? And it bugs me.
Like I said,
so then I call, you know, my spare mom.
Surrogate mom.
Surrogate mom.
No, it sucks because when they have selective memory like that, it's like, yo, bitch, you were in the same boat. It doesn't matter that it was 43 years ago. You still get up in the middle of the night and come and hover in front of my door, and I'm a grown-ass woman with 2 kids. Like, what do you do? Like, how do you not remember that? How do you not remember?
I guess I just felt
you guys didn't traumatize her enough.
I mean, I could start.
But you get what I'm saying? Like,
Maybe.
I know they do have that selective memory, and it's no better or no different than the selective hearing.
Yeah. I just had to forget it. I was like, oh, how hard you can't drive when the sun sets.
Your stigmatism getting to you? You got cataracts?
My bad. Tell me more. You know? And then I just had to accept that you are just not the person that I'm going to be going to have this conversation.
No, I feel like the older they get, the more they just want to talk about themselves a lot because they weren't given that privilege growing up to talk about their aches and pains. Yeah. And so because it goes back to what do we expect from them versus what are they delivering to us, right? And I learned a long time ago that as soon as I have any sort of expectations from anybody, whether it be somebody who should be an integral part of my support system or somebody that's superficial, but as soon as I have any sort of expectation from anybody, that is when the countdown clock starts to disappointment.
Yeah.
And so, and the longer it takes for you to get to disappointment, the harder that fall is. Like if you meet somebody today, let's say you start work and they tout themselves as like, oh, I'm going to train you. You expect them to know all the answers, right? Like when I trained you, you're like, okay, well, if I have questions, she should be able
I
to
still
answer.
come to you. You're still training
Yeah, I'm
me.
still training you. However, like if I had just started training you on a Monday and you came to me on a Tuesday or a Wednesday and asked a question and I literally didn't know, right? That disappointment is not as grand as if we've been friends for a long time, or we've known each other and been in each other's lives for a long
Yeah.
time, or you've
Like
been married
you
for
should
somebody
know
for right.
better. Yeah.
Right. And so, and I know that sucks because if you don't if you don't put expectations on people, then are you really trying to form long-lasting
Yeah.
relationships with these people? Right? That's that level of, in order to expect a lot from somebody, that's also, you have to trust them to not disappoint you. Right?
Yeah.
Like that's why a lot of parents use those words with their kids. It's like, well, I trusted you and you made the wrong decisions. Like,
I try so hard not to use that word.
yeah, I've never had to use
It's
that.
been such a learning experience. Like, oh, we're not going to put that weight on them.
The word lazy, we went over that
Oh
one.
God.
The word, I trusted you, and how could you do this to me? It's like, first of all, it's not about me as a parent. It's about them learning how to live their life, and just, maybe they're just not making proper decisions, right? And so, you just got to help them out.
Yeah.
But it sucks because even though you've been disappointed or let down or whatever the word is that you want in regards to the interactions with your own mother, you still, because she's your mom, you still have that little bit of
I always go
expectation from
back.
her. You
I
always go
always
back.
go back. I'm
And that's
always
the
looking.
fluffy side of you. Like there's nothing wrong with that.
Well, it's been a couple of years in a work in progress.
Yeah.
Where I am learning to adjust my expectations. Like, had I had this conversation maybe 3-4 years ago, I probably would have been a lot more hurt by it. And now I'm learning that, it's okay. It's okay that she doesn't get it.
Yeah.
There are others that do. Like, I call you. I call other friends. And I'm still getting my needs met. It's okay that it's not her.
So let me ask
I
you
still
this
talk to
then.
her about it. Hopefully one day it'll click. But I don't expect the same reaction. Or maybe not the reaction, but, like, understanding from her. Like, what do I want from her? A hug? A cuddle? No.
Right.
I'm okay.
So let me ask you this then, because you have a brother. Does she behave the same way with your brother and sister-in-law?
There's
do
a
you
reason
see
I've
that?
been in therapy for 2 years.
Okay, so is that our hot take?
That's a hot take.
Okay, so today's hot take is gender
Inequality in the household.
Yeah,
With
even
our desi moms.
even 30 years later.
Yo.
Go for it.
I can't.
Let it unleash.
I need to just say this. I
Say
have
it.
no hate against my brother. None.
Yes, this is the
And
second time you've said that.
Yeah,
hope he understands
because
that.
no matter what, I need him to know that
Yeah.
this is never directed towards him. It's just the way that we've been raised.
Right.
That's all it is. Yeah.
At this point, you're just having conversation.
But I've also talked to him about it, and he's expressed things that have happened to him that he felt that I was being treated.
In a better way.
Yeah, like that I was receiving preferential treatment.
Oh.
And so I was like, oh,
Wow.
I never saw it that way. And it was a nice little bonding moment, for Christmas time.
Yeah.
But,
Holidays, huh?
yeah, a little bit. So it was nice to know that he also felt some of that, I guess. Like, it wasn't so one-sided. But at least my side of the story is he's the golden child.
Of course.
I was the reject child.
You're not a reject child.
Totally the reject child.
You were just a rambunctious child.
I said
It's
this
okay.
before. I came around. They said, solid effort. Let's try again.
Right.
And they got lucky.
I mean, same. Yeah. I don't know if they got lucky with mine, but we'll talk about that later.
Anyways. So yeah, it was just growing up. It was really hard. And things happened recently too, where it triggered a lot of it. But I have to remind myself that my frustrations they're not even so much against my mom and dad. It's just the way that society has influenced them to raise us.
Well, it's not. It's
right?
It's not society as a whole. It's the community that they chose to associate themselves with when they moved to America, which at the end of the day is still an Indian community of like-minded people, which means boomer Indian parents that are still trying to maintain that Gamra village mentality, but in a big city, bigger, more progressive country.
like they're not. So growing up, I was always told like you can't forget your culture, you can't forget this, you can't forget that, which I respect.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we are not in India.
Right.
We do need to assimilate to some degree,
To some degree, yeah.
modernize,
Yeah.
and accept that it's not going to be exactly the same, but we can preserve a lot of the ideals.
Right.
That made me the outcast.
Of course.
Because I wanted to modify.
How dare you?
That made me the outcast.
Right. Well, because also think about it this way: you're not just speaking for yourself now; you're speaking for your children, which are their grandchildren. And so, if they make some sort of, if your children make a decision, like mine, right, roomie number 2, going to college, if he makes some sort of decision or he feels a certain sort of way, something as simple as, here's my boyfriend. What is that reaction going to be? If he were to bring his boyfriend home, he knows, my kids know that I don't care. As long as they're not hurting you, as long as they're making you happy.
So I have a question to go off of that. And I brought this topic up once upon a time.
Yeah.
Now, I know that love is love, right?
Yeah.
If one of your boys has a boyfriend, they have a boyfriend. But if you were to have that conversation with your mom or your spare parents, how would that go? How would that be received?
I honestly have, with my mom, I know for a fact she wouldn't care. She would just, the only question she would ask is, are they going to take good care of her grandkids?
Yeah.
I honestly don't know how my spare parents, how my mother-in-law would react. I'm hoping that she would be, open to it. I'm hoping that her asshole will not clench up at just the mere thought of,
it might.
Here's so-and-so's boyfriend. However, she also knows that I will put her in her place if she says anything in regards to, this is shameful to our community. I'll be like, you know what else is shameful to the community? I can list a lot of other things that I have not listed because I'm trying to still be that respectful, good Guju Indian girl that Usha raised. So when push comes to shove, I will shove it right in your face.
Yeah.
Because there's no reason. Like, prime example, girl versus boys, right? Just the inequality of it 30, 40 years later, right? You would think that there would be no issues in my household now because I'm raising my 2 boys to be more neutral, right? There's no girl tasks and boy tasks. Everybody just chips in and we get that shit done. And I know this is a basic. This has been an argument that's been happening since the dawn of time.
But I mean, you can't do it for all 4 of you guys. That's
But
not
here's
feasible.
the thing. And this is something small, right? This is why I say I don't know if my mother-in-law would be able to handle it. The reason I say that is something as small as laundry, right? So when I started this touring 2 years ago, that's when they moved in. And so my laundry load went from doing mine, my husband's, and my 10-year-old kids,
Yeah.
because my older son was doing his own at that point, to now doing mine, my husband's, my 11-year-old kids, 10-year-old kids' laundry, and now she was insisting that I do her separate from her husband's. So now I've added 2 more loads when my fucking industrial size can handle both of their loads together.
Yeah.
Okay? And on top of that,
It's going in a laundry machine though. Like,
it's going in a washing machine. Like, I don't care if his has doo-doo stains on it. It's going in a washing machine, okay? But here's the thing. First of all, she wanted me to do them separately. And second of all, she would not ask her son or
The boy.
her grandson to do the laundry.
Yeah.
Because and I was like, Mom, you know that 2 other people know how to do the laundry in this house, right?
Yeah.
I was like, your son and your grandson. And she looked at me deer in headlights like, oh my God, but I have knickers and bras. What are they going to... I'm like, they've been folding my underwear and bra since they could fold. Guess what they did? That first chore they had was doing laundry with...
You wash their boxers and bundies and stuff?
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
Yeah, she refuses to let them do it because they're boys and they can't know what underwear and bras look like. I'm like, Are you aware that we're in America and they wear bikinis outside to the
Yeah.
beach that they've been to? So they've basically seen a bra and underwear.
Yeah.
Like these, like just these simple things,
But
right?
it's going back to like don't sexualize it. It's a piece of
Right.
clothing.
It's a piece
That's
of
all it
clothing.
is. It's a piece of clothing.
But the way that and it goes back, yes, you know, your mom came here, right? Our parents came here, Usha, mother-in-law, all that. They all came here around the same time, roughly 40-ish years ago.
Yeah.
But when they came here, they migrated to people that they knew, to like-minded people, because every immigrant that comes here looks for their own people, so they have a sense of home. But what that does is it deters them from progressing mentally unless they are associating with other people,
Yeah.
which is main reason why
And
my
that's
dad,
exactly what happened, right? They came here, they
yeah,
found their people. No shade on the temple. I don't go.
to each their
But
own, to each
they're
their
going
own.
to the temple every single week, and it's the same thing, the same push, the same message, and it's just being freaking forced on us in the house when it doesn't match the lifestyle
No.
at all. And that doesn't necessarily have to go with like the boys and girls thing. That's just from decades prior to that. I think
Right.
my grandma used to do the same thing. I had that conversation with my mom because statistics show that 1 in 3 likely we're gonna have.
One of them could be.
Could be. And we don't care. Me and my husband, we don't care. We're not going to be surprised by it. Whatever. I'm more worried about having that conversation with my parents
If
because it might not be received well, hence the therapy.
Yeah.
You know, like make sure I'm ready to have that conversation because their reaction should not cause a reaction from me.
No.
And it's just, we're just letting you know.
The only
That's it.
the only reaction they're gonna get is you either get on board with this or you get off the boat.
Yeah.
Like there's no in between. This is my house. I paid for this house. These are my children, and there's no way that your disapproval of whatever choices they're making in life is gonna rub them the wrong way.
Well, what I was told instead, it's not so much that my kids made the wrong choice. It's that I didn't parent them correctly.
No,
So
absolutely bullshit.
that's what it turned into. It's
Yeah.
just like, open, Priyanka te sikharu pade.
No.
What?
Well, like how?
That's what I was told, and I'm like, all right, we're not ready for this conversation.
No, yeah, that's not like it. Whenever somebody goes, like, and I know I say this in my content, like, where's your mother? Didn't she teach you anything? But I say it in a more like joking way. I say it in a more like, you know, I don't like that statement, which is why I say it in a very snarky way.
Plus, it's saying, where are your manners?
Right.
You know,
Right.
you're implying that
But
it
like
wasn't taught.
when your own mother says that to you, that's when you want to just punch a bitch and
I was just like, oh wow, so you're gonna just shift the blame on me as if I did something here?
can I ask what she was referencing or no?
Well, yeah, like say one of the kids was bisexual or whatever, and
Oh,
they
okay.
chose to marry somebody of the same sex,
Yeah.
or whatever the case may be.
She's
you
trying
know?
to blame you for that?
Yeah, so I was just like, well, mom, there's a chance that we may have one of the kids could be gay. It's so much more common. There's so much more. I'd like to think that kids are more and more common with coming out and
Comfortable with it.
comfortable
Yeah.
having that conversation. Will likely, because we've been raised in this type of environment, likely see those signs and keep that conversation comfortable for them to come to us. I would hope.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know how the topic came up, but me and her were just talking about it. And she's just like, Priyanka, pero si kwaro pare.
No, absolutely not.
It just got pushed on me, and I was like,
Like, what are you
oh,
supposed
okay.
to teach them? You're supposed to teach them how to physically have sex with the opposite. Like,
No,
I don't understand what she thinks that you're going to teach them.
They know it's not even about sex. I just told them, I'm just like, some people have two mommies. Some people have two daddies.
Yeah.
That's it. So at best, they just know that they could potentially have a crush on same or opposite genders.
Right.
That's it. And I left it at that.
Yeah.
Because we're entering the crush phase. So
Oh, I see.
if it happens, I just gotta let them know that it's okay to talk to me about it. I want to know.
Right. Well, that's the thing. Like, as a parent, you want to create a safe space for them,
Yeah.
for your children to come to you, because we've heard so many horror stories about people who didn't come from supportive families, right? And then they had to figure life out on their own.
It's so isolating.
It's so
I
isolating.
would never want that for anyone.
And even then, like, and yes, they can go find their own community, you know, the LGBT plus community, but also, how do you know the people within that community are also safe? You know what I mean? Like, there's always bad apples in any community, every community. And now I have to worry about not only how are they dealing with bullshit from ignorant assholes around them whose heart is not open to whatever, but they also have to deal with the angsty people within the community that came from horrible homes and are now taking it out on these type of, like, that's a double whammy for parents, and like, so you're doing what you're supposed to do in creating a safe environment for your children to then be like, I feel, and they're going to be okay with it. It took a while for us to get here, like, the same, like, my husband was the same way. Like, I would, roommate number 2 would be like, do we have plans for Friday? And I'm like, what, you got a hot date? Who's the girl? Dot, dot, dot. Or guy. I mean, whatever. Like, I would write that in a text because that's how we communicate.
Yeah.
And then my husband later, he's like, don't put ideas in his head.
That's not how that works.
No, he understands that now.
Okay.
And I drilled it in. I was like, that's 100% not how that works. Like, if they're going to go that way, they're going to go that way. And if you're going to do something that means that he's no longer going to talk to me because I'm associating with you, guess where I'm going.
Yeah.
I need to support this other person because they're just starting their life. And they don't have they're not fully equipped to deal with people's bullshit because we don't deal with people's bullshit.
Yeah.
It
makes me wonder, though, at least going back to like how girls are raised versus how boys are raised within our community. Mm-hmm. And I haven't asked this question, but it does make me wonder. Like, Brianka, the reject.
You're a reject.
No, yeah. So Brianka, the reject. It makes sense. Like, if one of my children happened to be gay.
Okay.
It makes sense. Brianka's just so forward thinking that it would make sense that she has a child that is gay, as if that's a bad thing.
No, you should take
But my brother,
it as a compliment, though.
Right, but my brother, on the other hand, he would never. Because he's perfect.
Right. Well, I can't wait until one of your brother's children ends up homosexual, and I want to see what your mom says. No, but that's the thing, like, and also, they're going to give you whatever they know how to say. They're going to say whatever they want to say, right? Your mom, why didn't you teach them better? Well, how am I supposed to? This is not something you teach.
Yo, this just happened.
Oh, go for it.
Okay, so remember when we have our kids?
Yes.
And
right. As one does.
Grandma's watching. Shut up.
Okay.
Grandma's watching the kids.
Yes.
So I told my mom so many times, okay, feed them fruits, whatever. You want to make them bakri, khichdi, the works. Feed them. I don't care. Keep the cookies away.
Yes.
Especially for the first one, I was a lot more rigid because
everybody is.
I had the time to do it, and then she learned what it was, and so the boys picked up on it younger and younger, whatever. But my mom would sneak her Parle-G biscuits all the time.
The glucose biscuits?
Yeah, and then she would buy like the big family packs from Patel Brothers.
Get the fuck out.
And she'd buy these, and she'd be like, oh, pet bhare jaine. And I'm like, are you serious? Like, that's not filling her up. And I would have these arguments with her, like, why are you buying it? Stop buying it. Just don't buy it.
Yeah.
But she'd buy the bulk pack because it's cheaper per unit.
No, she's munching on that shit.
No, she can't go through it, so she gives it to me in a little grocery bag. Here, I made you food. By the way, here's like 14 packets of Parle-G that I have to keep now in my house. I toss so many of them. But, and I'm very jealous about this, okay? My mom is so rigid with my niece. She follows nap schedules. She follows eating schedules. She's not allowed to have, a snack before her meal. Like, her meal times are regulated and under control. And I'm observing all of this, and I'm fuming on the inside. Yeah. I'm like, what did I do wrong? I asked to not give my child Parle-G biscuit. You know what she said to me? And this is going to be in Gujarati. Marti tan kevai, Marti hamne na kevai.
Oh, she's a fucking liar.
I was so mad. I had to get off the phone. I was like, get out of here.
No, if she could say that to you, she could say that to him. And she can say that to your sister-in-law.
Because you don't have to be rude about it.
No.
She would argue with me about it.
No.
She's like, whatever. Typical stuff. Like, we've
reverse
done it. She'll be fine, this and that. I'm like, no, you don't understand. I even told her, I'm like, the sugar is like crack. I've seen a change in behavior.
Yeah.
Like,
I didn't even
Fuel
get
her
mine.
up on other stuff.
Yeah,
Don't.
no, mine tried with roommate number two when he was first born. They would like, because they would have it at their house, and I'm like, do you understand why India made these biscuits, right? India made these biscuits for the Gamra people, the people in the
The
villages, the
malnourished.
malnourished people, so that they can eat these with their morning cha, and they can have energy to work the fields because they didn't have anything else to eat. Like this is a literal like a glucose boost, a fake energy
It's
is what
sugar.
you're giving them, and they don't need that. Like they're not going to go to the field and plow. They're not going out there and doing shit. Like they might go in the sandbox and dig a little bit, right? But like that's not the same thing. Like get the fuck out of here. So like they tried with roommate number two when he was a baby, and I was just like, no, no way, don't even. Like Usha tried, and I was like, I would throw him away in front of them.
Oh yeah, and like you have a bigger age gap too, so you had a little bit more control over the second one.
Yeah.
Yeah, this once she started eating them, the other two, they're just like, oh yeah, I want one too.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
No. It was crazy.
They walk into my mom's house and go straight to the pantry.
They're looking for the glucose biscuits,
Yeah.
the sugar biscuits.
I'm kind of over it now. Like, I know I've lost control over the situation, and it is what it is, but when I was observing the... I need to read more. I can't think of my word.
The interaction.
The discipline.
The discipline.
It was the discipline
Yeah.
of, well, it's time for her to eat. Okay, now that she finished her meal, she can have her snack. Okay, it's time for me to put her down. I gotta get going.
Yeah.
She's not allowed screen time. I'm like, y'all watching movies till 10 p.m. with my kids. What's happening?
Yeah. Yeah. At that point, like, it's hard to pull back and to make excuses for that behavior. Like, my gut reaction would have been like, so you don't respect me enough to follow my rules? But
And
you
I said
respect
something
him enough?
along the lines, I was told, well, I can tell you, I can't tell them. And I was like,
No, that's not
okay,
true.
I got my answer. I think I'm doing much better with not having a reaction.
Yeah.
And I just walked away from the conversation. It was for the best.
Yeah, but that sucks that you have to,
It's annoying.
yeah, like, you're basically being the parent in
It's
that
insulting.
situation.
Yeah.
And it's like, what did I do to deserve this? Like, why don't you respect me enough to follow my wishes when this was your first grandchild, too?
Uh-huh.
Like your first, second, third grandchildren. We're not talking about your 10th or 11th where you're like, whatever, the previous 10 were okay, this one will be fine. You know what I mean? If anything, this fourth kid in the family should be getting like an easy bah.
No, she's trained. She was trained by me.
Oh. So you did all the grunt
I
work.
fought with you so much that I'm not going to fight with this one.
Oh, so you tired her out. You tired her out. It's fucking bullshit.
This is bullshit.
Grandma, I want to go home. I don't want to do this anymore.
So,
That was it?
I think so.
I think so. All right. Well, thank you guys for listening and or watching. We hope this episode helped you see other things that are PakeAsPuck. Leave any questions, comments, ideas in the section below. Don't forget to follow. Okay, bye.